guys, welcome back to the last Bachelor in Paradise the morning after. I'm Lauren.
I'm Mackenzie.
And last night we had so much happen, from Blake not really apologizing to a couple of happy engagements.
And Pilot Pete is the next Bachelor.
A 3-hour finale last night. So much.
Where do we begin?
Where do we begin? I think we begin with all the happy couples.
Yes.
Because go you guys.
We love a happy ending.
We love a happy ending, and we love Hannah and Dylan. And I love Dylan. I think, he persevered and he got his girl.
I know. I love that they had a happy ending after a rocky start with her and Blake. They're so cute together. I don't know if you saw the picture she posted on Instagram last night.
I did. I was here for them.
So
they were just so cute. I mean, honestly, though, the whole time after the proposal, which we will talk about, but after the proposal at the finale, why were they sitting separately? The whole time I'm like, wait, did they break up?
I feel like they wanted to leave a little mystery so the viewers were speculating just like you did if they were together.
I falled for the Bachelor producers. You got me.
They got you, but they are together. I was happy to see that they were together after a little bit of suspense.
I mean, let's talk about the proposal. It was so cute, and then Dylan gets down on, well, first of all, right before Dylan gets down on one knee, Hannah's like, I want you to meet my family. So I thought that was gonna not happen.
Same.
Right?
I thought they were gonna cut to footage of like them in Alabama.
Right.
He gets the permission and then he proposes there maybe like the next day or something.
Which he later did get the permission. But Dylan gets down on one knee. I wrote this out because it was really cute. And Hannah's like, wait, I'm shaking. And then finally Dylan's like, please answer. I need an answer. I am dying here. I'm sweating. Like, give me an answer, lady. Which she did.
Yes. And she said yes.
And she said yes. And they're happy. I mean, we talked to them right after the finale, and they are so in love. She's going to move out to LA or San Diego. She's actually going to move to San Diego.
Oh, and he lives in San Diego.
Yes. They're not going to move in together just yet. But listen to what they had to say.
We're on cloud 900, and it's been really cool. But it's been really fun just actually coming out about it, because it's been like our little secret. So I'm really excited for people to finally know.
And how is engaged life? How is life after paradise?
It's awesome. I think that's such a huge test of your relationship, is taking it from what it is, and that's paradise, to the real world. And we've just gotten stronger.
Obviously, they are so happy. I'm so happy for them. But I don't think we're going to see a wedding anytime soon.
No, I don't think so. I think a lot of couples have come off the show engaged, and then they kind of use that time engaged to really date each other for a while.
Right.
Get to know each other outside of paradise, this fantasy ideal situation, see how it is in the real world, and then they'll get married later on. So I think they might take a few years as an engaged couple to be together and get to know each other, but I do hope that eventually we see a wedding from them.
I hope it's televised.
Me too.
I hope it's televised. Okay, so we're happy with them.
Very happy.
Congrats to the two of you. Next up, Demi and Christian. Not one, but 2 proposals.
I know.
Thank you, Bachelor producers, for that.
Yes, thank you. I was so happy to see them engaged, and you could tell Christian as soon as Demi proposed to her.
Yeah, Demi proposed to Christian, and then Christian on the finale.
Yes.
Proposed to Demi.
Because Christian said right away, we need a ring for you, right after they got engaged. And Demi was like, we're working on it. So I thought it was cute to kind of see that come full circle.
Yeah.
The proposal at the reunion was awesome. You can tell that everyone in the cast was just so genuinely happy and supportive of them. Even Derek.
I was about to say, even Derek, after everything that Derek went through with Demi, he cannot be happier for them.
I love Derek. Just special shout out to Derek for being so great throughout the whole season. I love that he's so supportive of them. It seems like he's really friends with Christian now.
No, they are. Yeah, they are.
Remain friends with Demi. I think that's awesome.
It's so awesome. But do you think, so now Christian and Demi, I believe they're moving in together.
Wow.
Yes, moving in together. What do you think about their relationship? Like, will they jump to marriage, or are we going to see Demi kind of keep figuring herself out?
I think they'll wait for a while. I think, this was all so much for Demi. I can imagine, not only is she coming out for the first time on national television, then dating a woman for the first time on national television. She's really learning all these things about herself, and we saw her explain that to Christian during the season, like, bear with me, I'm still learning. So I think she's going to take the time after the show to kind of keep learning about herself, and, you know, hopefully one day they'll get married, but I think it'll be a while.
Yeah. Do you think it'll be more, will they wait longer than a Hannah and Dylan situation, you think, or?
Hard to say, but I do think so. I do think so, because I think Hannah and Dylan would get married before then. Like, they do seem pretty solid to me.
Yeah, and I mean, Christian do as well, but we saw them have their ups and downs, which is any normal relationship is going to happen, especially coming out of that fantasy land, you know?
Yeah, well, everything's so perfect. You're on a beach.
You're on a beach in Mexico and you don't have to work. Like, I mean, I would.
Let's go.
We
should just leave right now.
We should go. Goodbye, everyone. So, 2 happy couples.
Yes.
So now we need to go to our other engaged couple that I don't know about, Chris and Katie. Honestly, Katie, you should break up with Chris.
I kind of agree with you. Like, I'm rooting for them and I want it to work, and I think she's been very patient so far, but I don't know. Like, I wasn't convinced after last night. I especially wasn't convinced after we saw the footage of them after, kind of backstage area, discussing what had gone on. Chris seemed pretty upset with what Katie had said about him without him there.
Which I understand. I understand. But what Katie was saying, she like made the comment that she's giving out so much love, but she's not getting it in return, so her tank is empty.
Yeah.
And as anyone, how can you be in that sort of relationship?
It definitely has to wear on you at some point, you know? And I think she's there right now.
I think she is there, and I think Chris, you know, Chris has come a long way since the whole, we've seen him, Chris is our, you know, #1 guy on Bachelor, I feel like. He's been
really have a soft spot for him. I feel like we've really seen him grow and mature throughout the seasons.
I do agree, but when is enough? When is enough? Because you never want anyone to feel the way that Katie, I feel like, kind of is feeling that we saw last night. So when is enough for them?
I don't know. And they both posted on Instagram last night that they were together. They're working it out. So I think we'll kind of just have to wait and see what happens. I'm honestly not convinced that they are going to end up getting married, but I think good for them for trying to work it out and trying to make the best out of the situation.
Yeah. But is Katie coming off a bit like just too hopeful for it?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a point where she's going to reach that and be like, okay, it's time to cut the cord. Like, I can't keep doing this. And maybe she's not there yet, but she might be there soon.
Or Chris, hopefully, will surprise all of us.
I would love to see that.
I would love to see it because Katie is a great girl, and I think Chris deserves a great girl. And I think maybe after Life After Fantasy, Life After Paradise, they can actually get to know one another. Yeah. And fall in love.
I would love to see that.
Okay, so maybe we don't want Katie to break up with him. I'm on the fence. I'm really on the fence.
We'll have to keep stalking their Instagrams for some updates.
Yeah, which we will obviously do.
Of course.
Then let's go to Nicole and Clay. We thought there was going to be a proposal, and then Nicole was basically like, I get you're falling in love with me. You're not there. I need you to be there. Peace out.
Yeah, I don't know. Were you convinced that he was going to propose? Because I wasn't really feeling it.
I don't think he was going to, but I understand where Clay was coming from.
For sure, and he was dealing with Angela being there too in Paradise, so there was a lot of emotions there with his ex-girlfriend being there, then a new girlfriend. He was working through a lot, so I don't blame him for not proposing. I mean, he definitely wasn't ready to propose. He wasn't ready for them to move in together, and at least he was honest with her, but I do understand why she felt blindsided because he hadn't really voiced that to her directly.
Right. I mean, but I feel like he kind of did. He was like, I am falling in love with you. I'm not in love with you yet. As a normal person, kind of would. How long are they on the beach? Like,
but it's so hard when we say normal people because things are so different in Paradise.
Right, that is very true.
Like, you really have to move the relationship along, and if you can't get there, then it's like Nicole's kind of like, okay, then we're not there, you know? Because if it's not going to happen in Paradise, it's just going to be even harder in the real world.
In the real world. I get it. So Nicole and Clay were actually at the taping. Their segment got cut.
I was bummed. I kind of wanted to see it.
I did see it. I was at the taping. But basically what Clay said on Instagram is what happened. Clay basically said, hey, Nicole, like, I was falling in love with you, but I was just not there yet. Like, and I wish that you gave me the chance to get there.
Yeah.
And she didn't. She has a boyfriend.
Yeah, I saw that in Clay's post, so good for her. I hope she's happy. And I guess we'll kind of see what happens with Clay. Do you think there's a chance him and Angela get back together?
I was thinking that, but honestly, I think Angela's over it.
I think she is too, and like, good for you,
Good
girl.
for her.
Move
Like,
on with your
move
life.
on. Goodbye. You
Boy,
can,
bye.
Boy, bye. Okay, let's jump to JPJ and Tasha. Shocker of the night.
I know.
What?
I cannot believe that. I mean, you could tell when they left there was definitely some unresolved feelings there.
Yeah.
So I think it's great that she went back and chased after him.
And he was so quick to ask her to be his girlfriend, and then
Yeah.
after the rose ceremony, I thought he was gonna propose, and my jaw was to the floor, as was Tasha's.
She was sweating for a second
She was
there.
sweating, but I talked to her after that all went down, and she said why she can't say I loved you to JPJ just yet.
Are you in love with JPJ?
I will tell you when I am. I'll tell you that much.
But you are smitten with her.
Of course I am. How could I not be?
So I get it.
Yeah,
You know.
I get it.
I get it. They're new romance, they're long distance.
And we have to remember, before she was on Colton season, she was married once. So it's even harder for her to get there because she's done it already, you know? She's like, I don't want to get married again if it's not going to be my forever person.
That makes so much sense. And that makes sense why she's kind of reserved.
Yeah, I get it.
I get it. Wish them all the well. I think they might move out. I don't think they'll move in together at all, but I think
Yeah, because they are doing long distance
JPJ
right
might
now.
move to LA,
Okay.
but we'll have to see, because long distance after Paradise must be hard.
Really hard. I can't
Really
even
hard.
imagine going from spending every second together to not being together at all, you know?
Yeah,
once a
one
month or
extreme
whatever.
to the other.
Exactly.
So we'll see what happens with them. So now it's time to throw some shade, and of course it is our boy, not really our boy.
Not our boy.
Not our boy. He hasn't been our boy all season, but it's to Blake.
It's deserved. Sorry, Blake.
I'm sorry, Blake.
Sorry.
Since day one, you've been we're throwing shade at you.
He's catching it.
Oh, he is catching it last night. What kind of apology was that, Mackenzie? What was that?
It wasn't an apology. I mean, I was floored, and there were so many memes that I thought were hilarious floating around about everyone being like, everyone, apologize. Blake, I literally don't know what to say. Everyone, just apologize.
Please, for the love of God, apologize.
He couldn't do it.
He couldn't do it.
couldn't do
Why
it.
do you think he couldn't do it?
I just think he has so much pride, and it's like you kind of saw him get caught up in the argument where he said, if I hadn't released the text, you wouldn't have seen that there were two sides and that Kaylin was also wrong. You would have just been on her side only. I get him wanting to voice his opinion. I get him wanting to give his side of what happened. I stand by the fact that I don't think releasing the text was okay.
No.
I mean, and the fact that he couldn't just own up to it all and say, look, I'm sorry that I hurt you, that made me really upset. Like, just be the bigger person, and he couldn't do that.
He couldn't do it, and I think a lot of Bachelor Nation too was like, Blake, this would have moved past. Like, we would have gotten over it.
That's how
so
I feel.
fast.
I feel like if he never released the text, it would have blown over and it wouldn't have
Yeah.
been a big deal at all. And last night we saw that Kaylin said something about feeling like she was very discredited. Everything she had said all along was just kind of erased, you know?
Which it was, I feel like. Which,
Yeah.
to Blake's playing devil's advocate, Blake did want everyone to see that, hey, she was saying some lies, sort of thing. You know, she was over exaggerating. But no, at the end of the day, he should not have sent those text messages, and he should have apologized. He should have looked right into Kaylin's face and said, I'm so sorry for making you feel this way. Move on.
Yeah,
But he didn't.
I agree, and there's always two sides to every story. I think we've heard both of their sides now, and at this point, I wish he could have just said he was sorry and moved on.
I mean, and he eventually, I do want to say, he eventually did say, I'm sorry you're upset, one of those kind of apologies, and he said, I'm so sorry that you got attacked, and I'm sorry that you're feeling the way you are.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Okay.
that's the closest we'll get to him. Sorry.
The
from him.
closest, I think he'll move on. I don't think he should go to Stagecoach.
No.
God, please
He
don't
is
go to
going
Stagecoach.
to avoid Stagecoach like the plague next year.
Or he'll be there with open arms. It's one of those.
We'll have to see.
We'll have to see. But Blake, I hope you learned from it, which
Same.
I think I don't know if he did, but
I guess we'll
move on.
see.
At least Caitlin and Dean, happy, love them,
happy.
enjoy the time on the van.
Yeah, I think they're happy. It's great for them.
And last but not least, we have our new Bachelor.
Pilot P is the new Bachelor.
I don't know.
You don't know how you feel?
I think I was just so excited for the possibility of Mike being the new Bachelor.
Same.
But Pilot Pete is the safe choice, I guess. And you know what? I think he might bring a little sexy to the franchise.
Yeah.
The 4 times in the windmill.
That will for sure come. How many girls do we think are going to come out of the
Oh my
limo
God.
night one referencing the windmill?
I think everyone.
Probably
Everyone.
Or like saying something about flying.
Say something about flying. There might be someone in a windmill costume. You know that's going to happen. Or a little Dutch outfit.
So they released the girls yesterday, and we were talking about this earlier, but it's interesting. We're wondering, why did they release all the girls now before they start filming? Because I believe they're going to start filming this weekend. And they also released more girls than are actually going to make it on the show.
So what, you kind of were talking about this earlier. What does that mean? Why did they do that?
So my personal theory is that they released all these girls now because, as we know, the internet goes through everyone's accounts once the cast list is released, and they dig up old things. They find like a criminal history, or they find that you used to have racist tweets, and the Bachelor producers and team does the best they can to kind of pull those things out before they get them on the show, but sometimes things slip through the cracks, and then they end up being filmed throughout the whole season. So I think this way they're
situation again.
Exactly.
So we have 33 girls, and hopefully our Bachelor Nation does some digging.
I think they
how
will.
many girls will go on it though?
I believe it's 30. I don't know for sure.
3 girls
will not make the cut. Yeah, and there is one already, Jade M, who's been talked about. There's been some things saying that she was married, she's no longer married, but some shady stuff during the marriage, maybe not going on the show for the right reason. So I am very curious to see if she'll make it on or not after all.
Interesting. Overall though, how do you think poor Mike. How do you think?
We wish.
We wish,
You
Mike,
wish.
you and Demi Lovato
I'm here for
we're
it.
here for that. But Peter, how do you think Peter is going to do as the Bachelor?
I think he'll do really well. I mean, I think back to Hannah B's first night where we saw her meet the contestants after the final rose, and everyone was like cringing. They thought it was going to be so terrible. Hannah B ended up being one of the best seasons we've had in a really long time. So I'm going to do my best not to judge Pete yet. I'm going to see how he does, but I think it's going to be good and really a fun season, I hope.
I think it will be a fun season too. Well, that was it. Bachelor in Paradise is over. It's a wrap. If you liked what we said, if you didn't like what we said, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
If you guys liked that video, make sure you like and subscribe.
And make sure to head to Access Online for more Bachelor in Paradise.